The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Mage the Ascension M20 Chronicle. I am the Ravnos Harkon. I am your storyteller this evening. And before we recap what happened last week, let's go around the table and introduce our players.
Hello, I am Rev Ben Powers, the occasional ST and general nuisance, and I am playing Abram Proctor, the homeless Jesus.
And I'm Rylyn Dare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I'm playing Lydia Thompson, a great cultist.
Daddy, I'm playing Tom Castrogano, your resident scumbag for the moment.
Every season needs a scumbag, I think.
Facts.
The last we left off, we got to see Abram and Tom hanging out, holding hands in a tunnel when they were attacked by something that should not be. They ended up learning that Pentex is not a happy-go-lucky company. Tom still has lingering effects of their time in that water. But we got to see a little bit of what they were doing. We got to catch up with Lydia and her shop, and we got to see her deal with trying to be brought back into whatever Daniel Thatcher is trying to concoct at the moment, introducing her to Samantha Bishop, who was the Circle's Etherite and kind of Q equivalent, if we're talking James Bond. which is very popular in this 1988 era. And towards the end of the episode, we did get to see a little portent of what was and what might be. Lydia had a bit of a feather left over from her time with her avatar, and after switching over with Prime to kind of see the magical tapestry, the magical threads kind of laid out into it, she saw that each half of the feather showed different events. The first half showed the van full of Russians with Vasily before they attacked the Biltmore Hotel. She got to see Chuck Hume and Officer Anderson White when they were squaring off against Edward Malcolm Gaines. When they had Daniel, they had the Akashic, Zhao, and the rest of his kind of coterie. Teresa and Ricardo were there. And she saw the explosion tear away the 7 avatars that were scattered in the room. And for a second, hanging frozen in space, they all started to shift in hue and color, and they filled up an open, broken spot where an 8th avatar should have been, but had already been killed long ago. And this was Edward Malcolm Gaines gaining his avatar for a second time. The first half of the feather burned away with his kind of revival from undeadness. The second half showed the events that she lived through with her kind of group of people. But instead of the same thing happening a second time, this time the explosion at the Vizcaya was a little different. She got to see that Daniel had prepared himself, taking the time in between the explosion at the Biltmore and the explosion at the Vizcaya to set up a trap of his own. And whereas Gaines would have created a second aid to him, a helper, a secondary vampire turned mage again, this time Daniel's interference shattered his plan and sent some of the avatar shards back to where they should be. We got to see one piece fall into Vasily. We got to see one piece fall into Samantha. But we got to see several pieces falling into the shape that was Daniel's avatar slot. And then we got to see her go looking for Ricardo, who she found at the mutiny, keeping an eye on his sister who bartends there. And she left the card that the ladies had left, warning him that Daniel is being followed. And today, for today's session, we're going to pick up 3 days later. It is Monday, June the 27th. The city of Miami Beach is getting ready for all the festivities this weekend because of the 4th of July party. Police have been put on high alert as it was reported that there was vandalism and a criminal attack on the Pentex water treatment plant off Fisher Island. Several small explosions have been attributed to a local overzealous chapter of Greenpeace that has been trying to clean up the channels around Key Biscayne and Miami Beach proper. For their part, Pentex has continued to support the big 4th of July party this weekend and has even pledged to fund the necessary officers it would take to close off Ocean Drive from South Point Drive all the way up to 15th Street. Because they're hoping that that big Art Deco inspired parade will help to celebrate Independence Day and bring some unity to the city. For those of you that don't know Miami, Ocean Drive is what we call Deco Drive. It's where all the big Art Deco hotels and buildings exist in all their glory. But we've got to find all of our people again. You've been scattered. You've had the whole weekend to kind of lick your wounds for some of you. For others, who knows what you're licking? We're not here to judge. But we hear Glenn phrase, "the heat is on," when we find Tom. Where do we find Tom Monday morning?
Sleeping like the dead because he took the day off. Because, ouch, he was hurting. So I called in sick today. I'm just laying back, going, that was a long swim. I hit the alarm. I'm going back to bed.
Okay.
I'm going to sleep into at least 9.
Okay. So we find you around 10, actually, when you start to wake up.
I get up and I trying to put together some sort of breakfast. Probably eating the breakfast of champions. You know, I've got a donut sitting there, and probably some sort of fruit. I'm thinking, you know, it's Miami, probably a mango
Yeah.
or something along those lines. You know, not too sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe some papaya. You know.
A smorgasbord of fruit if you want it.
Yeah, some kiwi probably too, because hey, why not?
Yeah.
You know,
You're
it's
fancy.
not really the side of the world, but why not? You know, it's kiwi is always good.
You've got a cushy job. You can afford
Exactly.
kiwi once a month.
Yeah, at some point I'm gonna go straight downstairs and try to find me some sort of crushed ice thing. I'll probably get a breakfast smoothie of sorts made with guava, or some sort of frou-frou kind of breakfast drink with guava in it.
Given the crystals that you've used, given your scientific nature, is Tom the kind of person that would have a map of the city with locations of ley lines? Or is that just a little too esoteric for him?
Probably not, unless you know his teacher of sorts might have brought it up to him, but you know, he still hasn't investigated any of the more esoteric things. He's aware of them, but he doesn't really use them.
Okay.
That said, he does have a map. He does have crystals. He is aware of space and time around him, so he might stumble on something if it's close enough and it smacks him in the face.
Okay. Over the weekend, you've gotten a phone call from your mentor. What's his name again? Brandon.
Yes.
Brandon
Professor
called
Culver.
Professor Culver. He told you that he is sending a colleague of his who's having some issues and would like professional opinion on something. And given that you are an engineer, he immediately sent them your way.
So I'll meet him down in the cafe then, because I'm sure as heck not going to have anyone coming to my house.
Excellent.
I know that's a bad idea.
Yeah. So around 11:30, you head down to the cafe for your noon meeting, and you see that there's already a gentleman who looks completely out of place. The guy's got a 3-piece suit, vest, jacket, beautiful looking silk tie, slacks, amazing, well-kept leather shoes.
I presume I passed his Cadillac on the way in too.
No, there's no fancy car. But you see that when he sees you, he stands up and he folds his newspaper. And you see him give you a curt bow, almost very out of place. And he catches himself and extends his hand.
I, of course, extend my hand and, you know, we make introductions. And of course, I'm completely noting the grip of his handshake.
It is soft.
Oh.
Yeah, it is soft. Does not feel calloused in any way. But you do notice that there is a kind of bracelet that doesn't fit the rest of the outfit. It looks almost like a child's friendship bracelet.
Woven or plastic chain?
Woven.
Okay.
It looks like it has at least 6 different colored threads running through it.
What colors would those threads be, if I might ask?
Red, blue, green, yellow, pink, and purple.
I see. So very, very. Yeah, I understand. So, I take note of his handshake and I start inquiring. Greetings. How are you this morning or this afternoon now? I suppose.
Mr. Castrogano.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you. My name, I don't know if you were told, is Professor Elias Vilden. I work over at the University of Miami. You seem to have missed any of my classes when you were working out there as a student. I am not hurt by it, but I understand that your path took a different route than mine.
What area is your specialty, if I might ask? Perhaps I've read some of your papers.
Oh, I am more into the esoteric. I am involved in the connections between the living and dead. I do forensics mostly.
Oh, I see. So like pathology and that kind of thing.
Yes, of course.
I see. I've heard of it. Obviously, it's not something I've delved in much, but it is definitely an interesting thing. The whole medical sciences.
Yes, I figured I would see you at some point. You, and I mean no offense by this, but you have the aura of death hanging on you.
Yes, that's not something I try to talk too freely about, but it is very true. I've had a very interesting life, you might say.
Yeah.
Things can be complicated, as I'm sure you're aware.
Of course. And you see him pull out a folded piece of what looks to be a city planning blueprint. And he opens it up. I was not told if you were specifically this kind of engineer or a more scientific engineer, but I am having issues with my apartment building, and I figured I would start asking around. Your name popped up, Mr. Castrogano.
Oh, I'm as a professional engineer, obviously I'm aware of those in my trade in the area, so I at least can pass you along to somebody appropriate. Tell me more about your building. What kind of problems are you seeing?
It's not the problem that I am seeing, it's the problem that I have heard about. People have suddenly shown an interest in buying up my building out of nowhere. So I was looking to see if maybe there was something that was in the plans that has eluded everyone else.
Well, I am aware of some things, obviously, just from going about, plan reviews and things. Some things I might be able to discuss, some I may not. I have to be careful with these things because there's contracts involved. That said, tell me more about where specifically we're talking, and I can tell you if I'm aware of anything.
There's an area south of here, off of Key Biscayne. It's just in the Brickell area.
I see. Storyteller, am I aware of anything in that area that might be, buildings going down, structures going up, that sort of thing?
Key Biscayne is where the richer people kind of tend to congregate. You've got to go down towards Virginia Key, past Crandon Park, and so it's kind of a very secluded, very gated off communities kind of area.
I see. I know the type.
Yeah, the bridge to get over there is on the mainland. It's where Brickell is, and that's kind of where like the high echelon parties is in the Brickell area.
I see. I see. So this is definitely, they're not going to be tearing down buildings and putting a mall up. It's
No.
definitely, they're going for vintage slash high scale, upscale,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. A high rise might not be out of the question.
No, but they're, yeah, it's definitely going to be well thought out and
Mhm.
well lubricated. I would have
Oh,
heard about that.
yeah.
So I'm presuming I don't know of any high rises going up in his neighborhood.
No, not at all.
All right. So going back, I let him know. I said, yeah, I'm not aware of anything going up in your area. I mean, it's that's some pretty prime real estate over there. It's very difficult to get permitting. You're saying the properties in your building are being sold, or please tell me more.
Several of my neighbors have sold off their property, um, and there is this, and he kind of hands you a small business card that has an image of a bear holding a steel girder over his head, like a triumphant weightlifter.
Ah,
On the other
I
side, it just says bare minimum construction.
I presume I recognize the construction company.
It's a new company. It's been around maybe a year and a half.
Maybe not so much then.
Yeah.
I don't recognize this company. I might have to look into it. Forgive me if I don't get you to answer immediately on this. So you're saying they're selling properties? I assume these are apartments you're referring to inside your
Correct.
building?
Yes, this is correct.
Interesting. Yeah, I will have to do some research on this. I don't have an answer to this specific question, but I'm not aware of anything going up in your neighborhood.
I appreciate your time, Mr. Castragano.
Thank you. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to call. I pass him a business card.
He takes it, and you see him open up a business card wallet, and he puts it on one side, and on the other side, he pulls out his wallet, his business card, and hands it to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Should you need anything, he gets up and he stops for a moment. And he's just like, "Do you know Daniel Thatcher by any chance?"
I don't think so. I don't imagine that he storyteller. I don't imagine that would have came up in my daily life.
He has not reached out to you, no?
No, and I don't see him in my circles. No, I don't know that name. I'm sorry. Out of curiosity, what makes you think I might be aware of him?
It's just like I said, you have the aura of death about you, but can also see that you are touched. You are a kindred soul, Mr. Castragano, if you understand what I'm saying to you.
Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and shift my vision.
Okay.
Do I need to roll anything for that?
No, there's nobody really around. And you've noticed that the whole time that you were there in the cafe, nobody came up to you. Nobody asked you if you needed anything. Nobody took your orders. But at some point, you were each given a glass of water, and you each had a cup of tea and a little plate of pastries put at the table. But you don't remember seeing anybody come over. You don't remember having someone take your order, and everyone seems to not pay attention to your table.
What do I see with Prime Sense?
You can see his aura if you choose to.
Which I do.
It is a starburst of colors. There's just red, green, blue, yellow. It is a rainbow.
How does it interact with the surroundings? Does it seem to be a cutout as if it's completely disconnected, or does it feel part of the natural flow of things?
Oh, he is outlined. Like there's a thread that outlines him in the tapestry itself. And it's that thread that is the thread that kind of reaches out to become part of the tapestry.
I presume I recognize this?
Yeah.
So, of course, at this point, I will recognizing what I'm seeing, I will comment on it and I nod my head. Yes, I suspect we both know of such things.
Nods. I'll let you get to your day then, Mr. Castrigano. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. If I find anything on your specific problem, I'll be sure to reach out and let you know.
Of course. And he goes over to stand on the sidewalk, and he raises his hand, and as he does, a yellow taxi cab on the other side of the street stops and then makes a 3-point turn to come and pick him up.
I think to myself, that's quite improbable, but why not? It must be Monday.
It's lucky. It's incredibly lucky.
That kind of thing doesn't happen to me.
Not at all. And
So
go ahead.
So with that, I'm going to make my way back up to, honestly, I'm going to move towards City Hall, I think,
Okay.
to see what plans are on display for future expansion.
All right. And as you go off to City Hall, we cut over to a different radio playing Rush's Limelight. We see that Abram is standing outside of the Church of the First Dawn. There's a big pull for what's it called? Volunteers to help out with the 4th of July party that Matron Evelyn de Lavigne wants to throw.
Oh, I'm never one to say no to a party, especially if there's something to eat. So
Yeah.
throw on in. I'll check it out, see if they need help.
And you see that some of the sisters that are there are very thankful for your help. They take you over to where the bulk of the construction is taking place, and you can see some of the other homeless people that invited you are there, and they all kind of cheer up the moment you show up, and there's a different vibe now that you're there. Like they're happier.
I smile and shake hands. I'm assuming I know at least a few of them.
Yeah.
And so I'll kind of look around, something to keep busy, see what needs doing. I offer to help out building some of the sets and basically just try to make myself as useful as I can.
Okay. And what did you do during the weekend? Anything?
So if it was the weekend, it was volunteering on Saturday at the soup kitchen, helping people build up some of their the damage from the weekend rain on their houses in the underpass. Sunday is another building day, but on Sunday we make Dutch apple pie. So a lot of the locals kind of chipped in and donated what ingredients they could scrape together, and we grabbed an old Dutch oven that I salvaged from the trash a little while ago, and we cooked some pie.
Street pie.
Mm-hmm. Best kind. Just like Grandma used to make. Lots of butter. Lots of butter.
Your grandmother
Amish
butters her
recipe.
pie?
Yep.
Or did your grandfather butter her pie?
Well, Will, since I'm playing a wholesome character, I'm not going to rise to your bait and fall into your innuendo trap.
Okay.
That's
I'll
right.
work harder.
Yep. Better. Because if you want to get an innuendo by me, you're just going to have to nail it.
That's a rough one.
Yeah. Jesus joke. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, we've set the bar. So you help out during the day. It comes to lunchtime, and you see that there is this one older woman, maybe about early 40s, mid 40s. Doesn't look like the regular nuns that are there, but everybody keeps calling her the matron. And she comes over to you, and with a very soft lilt, she kind of cocks her head at you. Mr. Proctor,
Ma'am?
I've heard good things about you.
I'm glad to hear it. Obviously heard some good things about you. You're doing a lot of good work here. You've fed a lot of people, and that's commendable. I'm happy to help however I can.
She steps towards you. If I could borrow more of your time, Mr. Proctor, your difference has not gone unnoticed, if I can say that out loud.
I don't know what you mean, ma'am. Just a carpenter.
She hands you a business card. This was given to me to be given to you should you find yourself in need of honest work.
Ma'am, are you saying this isn't honest? This is about as honest as it gets.
This is good work that we're doing, yes.
And good work is the best work.
And then she kind of taps the card against her finger. This is very different work, but still good work nonetheless.
He'll take the card, take a look at it.
Yep. One side completely blank except for the stylized outline of what looks to be a tall building with kind of big side connections to it, but one extends out further, almost like a park of some kind, and the other side just has DB Thatcher, curator.
So for a second, he's just holding the card, and then he starts sweating a little bit, just looking at the subtle off-white coloring and the watermark and how it's tastefully aligned. And then he shakes himself out of it. Am I supposed to... Ma'am, I'm not one for beating around the bush or subtlety. If you know what you... Just tell me what you want.
Sure. Come with me. And she starts to walk up into the church proper.
Jonah, you're going to be able to hold this down, right? He kind of is holding up part of the scaffolding with one hand.
Yeah, and he looks down at you from above and he's like, "Yeah, I should be fine if you're gonna take off for a couple minutes."
Joaquin, back him up. And he goes off with her.
Yeah.
As he goes, he kind of snags a rag and starts cleaning his hands off so anything he touches doesn't get dirty.
Sure.
And if there's a bottle of water, he asks if he can take one.
Yeah, they give you one.
All right.
Give you a cup of water because they have one of those big. They have one of those big yellow construction
perfect. Yep.
water jugs. But she takes you in from the side, and it's a room that looks like the priest's rectory. And she goes over, and you can see that there's a door that's open that leads right into the church proper. You see her close it. She pulls out a key from one pocket, locks it, and then puts the key away. And from the other pocket, she pulls out a very similar key and then unlocks the door. And as she opens it, there's no church on the other side. There's actually just this kind of open field.
That same look of wonder crosses his face that happened when he was in the other place.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I don't know if this is really necessary. We could have just talked over there.
No, this is necessary. Too many ears and too many eyes.
All right. Well, what do you need to tell me? Say what you need to say, ma'am.
Right, and she steps through the door. Follow me.
I step through the door.
As you do, every fiber of your being becomes overcharged. You can just feel it rushing through you. And just as quickly,
I've fallen into the demon trap.
this is how you get into Tranky's game.
Through the guise of being simply polite, she has overwrought my character's sense of reason.
Yeah. Everything vanishes at the same instant that you felt it light up, and then you can feel the nail vibrating.
Without really realizing he's doing it, he kind of puts a comforting hand over it.
Yeah.
Almost like he's trying to comfort the nail, not so much as reassure himself it's there. It's almost like he's trying to let it know that it's okay.
Yeah. And the door closes behind you, and you see that there is a kind of little courtyard. There's these concrete benches that have been set aside in little crescent shapes around what looks to be a fire pit that is currently dead. There's firewood in there. There's embers, like it was used recently. You can see towels have been laid out. Very idyllic. There's a cool breeze. The sun is bright, but not out in the open. It's kind of a little bit overcast. And there's a scent of willow in the air.
Peaceful spot.
This is the secret of our church, Mr. Proctor. It's a node. It's a place of power for people like us.
I don't rightly know what that is, ma'am, but this is a very pretty spot you've got here. Again, I just think this is a lot to answer a simple question. Just tell me what you want. You don't have to go through all of this.
I just wanted to show you what is at stake, Mr. Proctor, because someone is trying to destroy the church. And she hands you another business card. And this one has a big, burly black bear holding up an iron girder above his head like a weight. And on the back, it just says bare minimum construction.
He takes a look at the card. Are they... How are... Just, ma'am, please, just tell me. I don't go in much for subtlety, ma'am. There's not enough time in the world. Just tell me what you need me to know.
We believe that someone at this company is pinpointing places along the city, places of power like the church, some other spots here and there. Small though they might be, they're still power in nodes, but they're buying them up, and they are doing something with them. But they are closing them off to our kind, and they are draining them for whatever purpose they're setting out to do.
So they're trying to buy up places like this.
Correct.
Okay. Why hasn't someone told them you won't sell?
We have, but it seems that they are well equipped because the city is starting to lean in their direction.
Don't you have any lawyers or advocates? I mean, you're the church. Usually there's some politicians that want to help out. Sure, the diocese has some support.
Mr. Proctor, there is a Hollywood actor in the president's seat. What kind of lawyer would really go to bat for us? The moral compass,
Find a lawyer that used to be an actor?
moral compass of the city is wavering. It's not where it used to be. I fear for the city's soul, Mr. Proctor.
Well, ma'am, the way I see it, it's not on us to fear for anyone's soul. You just have to show them a better way. If these people are trying to buy up places like this, then you just need to talk to them. Let them know that that's not what we're willing to do. And if you want me to talk to them, I don't mind doing it.
It would be a great boon to us if you could talk to them for us, Mr. Proctor.
All right. Damn, you could have said so out there.
I don't think I could have, Mr. Proctor.
You'd be amazed what you can do just by speaking your mind. But
Do you need to siphon any of our reservoir while we're here
what do you mean?
to fuel yourself or your effects?
It smells like someone's making ribs back at the entryway, and I definitely smell cornbread. That's about all the fuel I need.
Very well. Just know that if you need, this place is open to you.
I appreciate you giving me run of your little picnic spot here, but don't worry about it. I'll talk to him.
I appreciate it.
Is there a way back? Because
Yeah.
I didn't see I think we might have taken a few turns, and I didn't really pay
Oh.
too much attention.
You can always find your way back. And she just turns around where she is and reaches out to an invisible handle, and you hear a clicking noise, and the door frame opens up out of nowhere and leads back to the factory.
That's some trick. All right. Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Of course.
How come you haven't opened this spot to other people? I mean, it's a peaceful spot. It seems pretty secure. There's a lot of people that could benefit having a spot like this to come to when they're in trouble.
I'm very particular about who I invite into my sanctum, Mr. Proctor. You've come highly recommended.
Appreciate that.
I feel a kinship to you.
I mean, I'm not the kind to ask for compensation. It's not my nature, but sometimes people need help, and sometimes they don't have a place to go. The shelters work great, but when people are in real trouble, it'd be good to have a place they could go to where other people couldn't track them down. And your magic door, your fire pit, that seems to be not here, I don't rightly know, would be a great place for some of these people to take some solace if they need it.
She puts her hand on your shoulder and she just says, "This, unfortunately, Mr. Proctor, is only for people like us. This cannot be shared with the sleepers."
I don't really know what you mean. I don't know what a sleeper is, and I don't know what makes us any better than anybody else, but it's your place. I'm not going to tell you what to do with it. But I'll go talk to these people for you.
I appreciate it.
And he kind of self-consciously shuffles through the magic door that wasn't there before.
Yep.
He is a little awkward about it.
Yeah, I picture him
Doesn't know if he's going to
frame.
trip. Yeah, he's got his work boots on. He's worried he's going to trip. He makes sure his laces are tied up.
Yep.
But he'll go through the door. As he does, he kind of wonders how he's supposed to utilize these business cards without a phone. And then he remembers it's 1988 and there's payphones everywhere.
Everywhere.
As he steps through, though, he does turn. Ma'am, I don't suppose you've got a couple quarters so I can call these people?
Oh, of course. Of course. And once she steps through, she reaches out into one of the what looks to be an offering box, opens it, and just grabs a bunch of quarters and just hands them to you. She gives you like $3 in quarters.
I take 2 and I
Okay.
leave the rest.
Okay.
That's not for me. That's for the people. Those were donated to the church, not to me. So
It's for the servants who are doing his work.
I'm not serving anybody, ma'am. Just helping out. I'll tell you what, I'll go give these people a call and then I'll come back. I'm not gonna lie, Joaquin's he's a nice guy, but he's not too handy with a hammer. So I'll be back in a bit.
Sure, of course you are.
And he sets out, offers people a smile on his way, make sure everybody's at a good point so that when he leaves, he's not gonna have the scaffolding come apart or anything.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then he'll head to a payphone.
Okay.
As he leaves without realizing it's happening, his innate kind of obfuscation kicks in that he doesn't know he activates when he activates it. So he's no longer easily able to be found.
Yeah.
And he makes his way to a payphone.
Okay. And as you start to find yourself figuring out how to call these people, we hear a very different radio playing Stevie Nicks' Stand Back. And we find Lydia Thompson. After this weekend, what has she been up to?
Well, over the weekend, she met up with one of the other volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club who's been trying to get some family members into the country. That was on Saturday, and because she'd gotten a money order in from Mr. Thatcher, and she gave her friend $350 to help with his endeavor to get his family over. She spent the rest of Saturday doing some work with clients at the studio. She was doing some massages and guided meditations. Kind of had a quiet evening doing some meditation and stuff. She's been frazzled and out of sorts. And that didn't help because Saturday and Sunday nights she kept waking up with nightmares. Sunday morning, though, she tried to, again, use some coping mechanisms for her stress. And she went to the beach at sunrise and did some yoga there herself, and then treated herself to a glazed Krispy Kreme donut, fresh and hot, with a cup of coffee afterwards, before heading back to her sanctum.
Yep.
As Monday came around, she'd been getting almost no sleep all weekend, and she's thoroughly exhausted, so she basically covers it up with makeup, gets herself ready, and gets to work in the studio today.
Okay. Around lunchtime, you see a gentleman that you haven't seen since the events that you participated in, really since the last time you saw Daniel Thatcher in his wheelchair was the last time you saw Bashir Toussaint. And he doesn't come in, kind of stands at the doorway, knocks, and kind of has that awkward hand gesture of like, can I come in?
She waves him in.
He steps in, pulls his hat off. He's got his sleeves rolled up. It looks like he's been going through the same kind of rough weekend that you've been through.
Do we need to speak privately?
No. This is not difficult. I just wanted to warn you. People have been coming for my business for the last few months. And he pulls out a business card and just kind of puts it on a small table in between the two of you. You see that he's being really respectful of not approaching, not getting too close.
Lydia looks at the business card. Is it the same one she got that she passed off?
No. This is the black bear holding the steel girder above his head. It's almost comical.
That's a ridiculous logo.
It is, I agree. But they have given me an offer for my node. And I'm going to take it so I can leave the city.
You're leaving.
I said, yeah. Daniel has another one of his plans. I don't see myself being part of it. The last one was destructive.
Storyteller question: in Lydia's vision of the storm,
Mhm.
when her avatar visited her at the club, does she see Bashir?
Yeah.
Lydia will reach out and take his hand.
Okay. His eyes widen for a second and his head tilts.
You have to be here.
You described creature of immense ferocity when you went into the Umbra the last time.
There is a storm, and we all have to fight it. You have to be here. I've seen it.
You are asking me to believe that Daniel can stop whatever was set in motion at the Biltmore.
No. I'm asking you to believe that we all can.
And you see him start to get watery eyed. He was in a wheelchair until just after whatever happened at the Biltmore last Halloween, at the Vizcaya last Halloween.
Yeah.
He is walking.
I know.
He is cognizant of his surroundings.
He pulled off a ritual that prevented that vampire bitch, and she says that under her breath so no one can hear, could get her avatar back.
That
He got
means-
his.
But that means that he would have put himself in Gaines's crosshairs. For what? Why?
I don't presume to understand what they do. Their order is something else.
Do you think we have what it takes?
I believe there's only one way to find out.
You're sounding an awful lot like Daniel in the beginning.
I'm not Daniel. I believe in life. And I will do whatever it takes to save the people I care about in this city.
I'm still selling the business. It's too much money to give up. But I'll stay for some bit.
Are these people, and she moves her hand, are these people going around to other places? Because I got approached on Friday by Gaines's fucking squad.
You think there's a race?
Yeah, I do. Who are these people tied to?
I'll look into it.
Yeah, do that.
He turns and then he stops and he turns back to you. He's like, we're going to need a base of operations.
Of all people, you are welcome here. But I can't guarantee the safety of here. I'm already on the radar.
I can help with some rituals.
Excellent. I'm gonna need it.
Looks like I'm gonna go buy some chickens.
You can get some right down the street.
That's what that smell is.
Tell them you know me. They'll give you a discount.
And you see him. Well, what feels like the first time in over a year, he smiles. He cracks a smile. And he just puts his hand back on. This is gonna be the death of me, I think.
You and me both, but we can go out with a smile.
That's all that matters.
That's right.
He walks out.
She takes that card.
Mhm.
I think she's going to go to the Chamber of Commerce
Okay.
to look up who owns this business.
Okay. Not a far drive
Mm-mm.
to go from the beach into downtown. It's at most 15, 20 minutes.
On the way
with
there,
traffic.
she is actually going to do something a little different, just in case there might be people watching.
Okay.
She is going to use her life sphere to... Actually, I think it's life. Might be different.
What do you want to do? And then
I'm
we'll
thinking
figure
I
out
want to
what's yours.
alter her. I want to hide her aura.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I want to hide her aura so that if anyone's scanning for mages around the city government complexes,
That
she
would
won't get...
probably be Prime.
That might be
If
Prime.
it's
Yeah.
altering like or trying to hide
Tried-
her actual
Yeah.
aura,
Yeah.
Prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, basically, for her to get kind of be incognito.
Also,
Oh,
because
what
of
happened to our
your-
videos?
Oh, I don't know. I'm Abram now.
Yeah, Tom lost
Oh.
connection.
I'm Tom.
There we go. Sorry about that. All right.
Okay.
So I'll roll my
And now
irritate for the
Tom's
Prime
ahead.
for that.
Yeah, I was about to start making apple pies.
Can we screen cap Tom with the disembodied head? Because that's a new thing.
And Lydia does have her keychain in her hand when she's doing it, which is her Prime foci.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you have your main focus in mind,
Mm-hmm.
and auras are based off of your state of mind.
Oh,
You could even shift it.
could I
to
do
look
like mind
something
and
else.
Prime?
Yeah, you could definitely shift it to be something else entirely. to give
Yeah,
off
we'll
a
combine
different-
mind and Prime for that and completely just make me seem like a banal sleeper.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So because of mind, I don't think it's gonna be all 3 points that you need for shifting your. I think we can do it a 2, so it'll be a difficulty 5.
Okay. That is 2 successes.
Okay. So it is definitely something that you can kind of look in the mirror. You can see the vibrancy of a typical mage's kind of aura, the bright colors, the kind of prismatic pops that come out. And there's just this shift that you take a moment and you start to just kind of focus on one color, you mute it down, and it just sits there like this flame around
Almost
you.
like she's sucked it in, like a breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to go incognito when she goes to do her research.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it isn't too hard to, especially with mind, to get what you need and to get told where to go. And you sit there and you find out that the bare minimum construction company is barely 2 years old. It has a Dimitri Korchagin set up as the company's owner, but it has an operations manager listed as Manuel Garza.
Interesting. Chamber of Commerce will usually have records of business owners
Mhm.
and contact information.
Yeah.
I think she's going to go pay Mr. Garza a visit.
Okay. You show up, and the offices are a little trailer.
Hmm.
There is a half-acre lot, and there's a couple of cars parked off in the grass, and it looks like there's an attempt made to kind of gravel some of the spots, but the only one that really has any graveling is the one where there is this truck, not new but definitely not old, and it has just painted on the fold down door the Cuban flag. And as you go up into the trailer, you can see that there's a lady at a desk that looks to be kind of secretary.
Does she look
And
Hispanic?
Yeah, tan skin, black hair, brown eyes.
Lydia will speak in fluent Spanish. I would like
Mm.
to see Mr. Garza, please.
She tilts her head at you for a moment, and she goes, "Está bien? Give me a second."
Of course.
And she goes over to the door that's closed off the other part of the trailer from this half. She opens it, she steps inside. After a moment, she comes back out, steps to the side, and you see this gentleman, maybe just shy of 6 foot. He's like 5'10", 5'9", short black hair, greased back, light brown eyes, square jaw, the wide shoulders. This guy could have been a linebacker for the Miami Dolphins if you wanted to.
Oh, he's impressive. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I would like to. How can I check? Is it Prime site to check if he's a mage?
Yeah. You
Okay.
could use Prime to shift your sight.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Same difficulty 5. Not hard.
That's one success.
Okay. He does not have the sparkle, the myriad, the popping colors. His is, for the most part, a sleeper's just kind of normal one color, little hints of a second color. Second he comes out and he sees you, you see that all the colors that would have been there start shifting towards what is lust.
Mr. Garza.
He goes, please, call me Manny.
Manny.
All my friends call me Manny.
Well, I am Lydia.
Oh, please, come inside.
Thank you. And she walks
Maria. And you see him kind of give her a hand signal like a
in. Don't disturb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lydia, thank you so much.
But he leads you into his office. You see that there are 2 really comfortable chairs, leather, a small desk, and then he has a big high back kind of leather recliner. And he sits down, motions for you to have a seat. What can I do for you, Miss Lydia?
Well, I am a business owner here in Miami, and I hear you're into real estate development.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're buying up buildings, and you see that there is a map that he proudly points to that has just a bunch of locations. Some of them have the same, a little kind of quarter-sized stamp of the same bear. On top of it, some of them just have a circle with a pen mark. But your place is actually circled.
While he's basically in his bravado showing off this development plan, I'd like to read his mind to find out who he's working for.
Okay. Are you going for just surface thoughts or are you digging?
Will he notice if I dig?
If he is supernatural, he might notice.
But if he's a sleeper, he won't.
He won't.
Let's dig. Go big or
Okay.
go home.
All right.
I'm going to spend a willpower for a success on this.
Okay. So you're looking at coincidental with no witnesses. So it's going to be difficulty 7 to start off with. You have
A foci.
foci, so it goes on to 6.
And that is actually 3 successes with the willpower.
Okay. You start to get the surface thoughts where it's just like he is imagining the things he's going to do to you if given the chance. And they're not lewd.
Oh, he's actually a charmer.
Like he's not a monster. Like he doesn't want to just bend you over the desk. Like he actually like, you can see that there's candles, that there's attempts being made at foreplay. And then you start to see the image of what looks to be this bear of a man, just kind of shorter than him, because he's always looking down at him, but wider. And definitely, if this guy could have been a quarterback for the Dolphins, then whoever he's thinking about could have definitely been a defensive line, like the whole defensive line.
But Lydia gets a good image in her head.
Yeah. And short beard, kind of ginger colored. There's a white streak that comes up the middle of one of his eyebrows. And then
that's
kind of
distinctive.
kind of comes out of the right-hand side. The same thing, just a little streak of gray that comes out from one of his temples and straight back. The beard is ungrayed. It is still ginger. There's just this heavy kind of fistful of hair that peeks up out of the shirt and the wife beater that he has underneath, the kind of undershirt. There is a couple of gold chains. You're not sure what kind of symbol it is. It's something familiar to you, but there's a symbol on one of the chains. No belt, jeans, and work boots.
Excellent.
And he just looks like this monster of a man, but that is who he thinks of when he thinks of boss.
Lydia's mind's like a freaking steel trap. She can pull that up anytime she needs to. But she's just chit-chatting with him like, wow, this is an amazing plan. Did you come up with this by yourself?
He's like, no, we have an investor who has come in and is trying to revitalize the city, make good on making big moves.
Oh, basically, she's asking leading questions to get him to think about all these people involved, and she's getting like these screen caps in her head of all these people involved. Oh, and look at this. And I said, you know what? The one, she's going to point to her place. That one's mine. Y'all are planning to buy my place?
And you see him shoot up from his chair, and he goes over to the map. He's like, which one's yours?
This one. I do massages. We do guided meditations and yoga, but you should come get a massage. I think you would enjoy it.
He looks at the address, and then he goes and grabs a clipboard, and you see him just rifling through the papers. And he's like, oh, man. Yeah, your place is on the must-buy list.
Well, maybe we can work out something where it falls off that list. And she winks at him.
Oh. I mean, there's only like 2 people who really know what the list looks like, so it's the map that's going to be difficult to really change.
It's not hard to get a new map.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not hard to get a new map. And you see him come over. He sits down on the desk in front of you.
And she just kind of leans in. What you think, Money?
I mean, I am a very open-minded fellow. I think that eh, being stuck in one's ways is detrimental, I think, to good business.
I'll give you one of my special massages on the house.
Oh, you have special massages?
I do.
Is it
They'll blow
something we
your
can-
mind.
Is it something we can do here?
Doesn't quite have the right vibe here.
Okay. Do we want to do this now?
Sure.
Okay. And he gets up and immediately goes over to the door. You see him fix himself up.
And she first says, let's shake on the deal.
Oh, yeah, of course. And he puts his hand out.
Mm-hmm. And she shakes it.
Yeah.
And she will basically escort him back to her place and give him a tantric massage that will blow his mind.
Okay. I was okay going to black. You want to do some Sting shit up in here?
And that's
I
how
will
you get a
maintain
business
Desert
off the
Rose
must buy list, y'all.
Desert Rose is the best song ever written by man or wolf.
Correct. And I think on that note, that's a good point to go to break for today
We'll be right back, y'all.
on a tantric massage.
Wow.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back from the sex dungeon or wherever you went to get something to drink, get something to eat. We know where Lydia was. But as we left off with some of the other players, I believe Tom was going to go to the same place, the city hall, no? Or-
There's no way we're topping that. The other
Yeah.
characters can't top that.
Yeah, no.
So yes, I'm going to City Hall.
Okay. What are you looking for when you get there?
Well, as many people might be aware, all plans are kept in a basement on display for multiple months in City Hall without notifying anybody, of course. So I'm going
course.
down to that basement to find out what plans are on display in that particular neighborhood.
Okay. You ask around. Nobody really knows about anything going on in Brickell right now. They tell you it's not a big development place. Yeah, right now, Coconut Grove is the current focus for the city as far as growth is concerned. But each part of the city kind of has its own priority. Like the beach right now is expanding into the north section of it, which is called Bayshore. Miami proper is focusing on Coconut Grove. South Miami is focusing on the expansions into what is called the Redlands and Homestead proper. And North Miami is focusing on what will become Main Street, the Main Street part of Hialeah, which is going to be called Miami Gardens, which is where it's like if you want to be in Hialeah, but you don't want to be associated with anybody in Hialeah, you go to Miami Gardens.
I speak to the clerk, or not the clerk, but the clerk rather, and I tell him, by the way, I remember we were at that restaurant that one time. I'm not sure if you remember, but you left this on the table, and I hand them some coupons that I'd seen from free meal items. And I said, and I asked them, I said, by any chance have you heard anything? Maybe something's going on that hasn't quite made it into paperwork yet.
And he kind of looks at the coupons and he looks back up at you. No, nothing's come down my way.
I see. Well, I appreciate your time just the same. I just thought I'd check and see. Yeah, please hold on to those. You shouldn't waste those. They're
Sure,
perfectly
sure.
good.
And you see him reach over. There's a small stack of what looks to be multicolored paper. Just like every sheet of paper is a different color. And he grabs one that's like a bright neon yellow and he hands it to you. It's like, here, I will trade. You hold on to this.
Oh, okay. So I look at the neon yellow one, and I look down to read it. What's it say?
It is an ad for a what would you say would be on a flyer for your place, Lydia?
A flyer for her place, it would have a golden swan
Okay.
as the logo. And it would say the Gilded Swan Tantric Center.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tantric. You know, I seem to recall something about that. I might have to look into this. Thank you. I appreciate this. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. And he kind of holds up the coupons like, thank you for this very much.
Oh, no problem. You left them on the table. I can't believe you forgot them.
Yeah.
There's some good steak places in there. You should really enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. As you're leaving, you hear a plastic thud, like he threw them in the garbage.
Well, that's what I get for giving out coupons for buy one get one free drinks to a certain
To
club.
the limelight. Of all places.
I tried. Yeah, you got to grease the palms where you can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The city moves on its stomach if you didn't hear.
Yeah.
So anyways, of course, I flagged down a cab. I head down that way because I'm looking for information as wherever I could find it. And I got to tell you, I'm still kind of stiff. So I'm trying to find what I can find, you know?
Mhm.
I'm on my way over there.
The Tantric's place, you notice, is on the beach. It's not that far from where you were at when you were trying to get into the Pentex building from the tunnel. But it's not on the same island whatsoever. Like the Tantric place is in Miami Beach proper, just on the very edge of where South Beach would actually start. So from City Hall to the beach takes maybe about 20 minutes with traffic.
Anything interesting playing on the radio I might notice, you know?
Let's see. Even are odds in your favor that this guy's an English listener.
Probably against my favor because I have no luck. I have negative luck.
Some guys have all the luck.
Yeah.
Nada. I have negative luck.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I guarantee this guy's listening to something in Farsi.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
So choose a number, an even number or an odd number.
9.
So
Odd. Yeah.
I rolled a 7. So it is an English speaker.
I take it it's old country western then?
No. It'll be something new. He's probably listening to Y100, so it's probably going to be Bob Seger's Shakedown.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I could get behind this. Hey, so I start chatting up the guy. Hey, have you heard any rumors in town? It seems some wild stuff's been going on. What can you tell me?
Oh, I mean, every year is a new experience, my man. There's Cubans coming in here left and right, Haitians. There's aliens. There's a whole thing up at the Fort Lauderdale base, like
aliens.
Ooh, yeah, man.
What do you mean by aliens exactly? You mean somebody from South America? What?
No, man, no. Like real aliens, like in space aliens. Like you go out to the sky at night, you'll see them. You'll see the lights.
Next thing you're going to tell me that shark people exist.
No, man. What is that? That's bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. It's aliens, really?
No, it's fish people, bro. Fish people.
I've heard of lizard people. I haven't heard of fish people though.
Go to Dania. Go to Dania Beach, and you'll see them. That's where the Bermuda Triangle starts.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've heard some weird stuff out that way.
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard anything about people gobbling up properties around here?
No, I don't know anything about real estate.
Hey, driving can't be your only job. You gotta have a little
No.
side business going on, right?
No, it is my only job.
Well, you should get a side business then.
I mean, it's not going to be real estate. That's math and
course.
shit.
Of course not. Everybody's got to have a side hustle, though. You know what I mean? Little something on the side to go with it.
Maybe.
I tell you, keep an eye out, man. There's a side hustle for you. Next thing you know, you'll have your own cabs.
Yeah, okay. Maybe. And he goes over the bridge. He gets into the south end of the South Beach area, and he just drops you off. You be good with that real estate bullshit. And he drives off.
All right, thanks. Have a good night. And he clearly not listening as I'm talking.
No.
So I'm relatively close to where I'm supposed to be going, I imagine, and I look around. This is not bad. This is not bad. The sand's got to be miserable after a while, though.
Yeah. There's a bit of it out here, and as you're kind of standing out in front of the place, it looks like there's a class going on. There's some kind of wine and paint style thing going on before it becomes a big thing. And before you go in, we'll jump to Abram, who is sitting at a phone booth. It is only the top half. It's one of those top half phone booths. It is plastered with flyers for different shows. You can see what looks to be a band called Higher Standards, but it's just high, a dash, the letter R, and then standards.
That's clever.
Yeah. There's a couple of places for a couple of flyers for like places like the Limelight, the Mutiny. But you also see that there's a fancy one, fancier than the other ones at least. There's this beautifully hand-drawn swan, duck, goose thing.
A proud mallard.
Yeah. A feathered creation. But you notice that there's just this simple tantric massage labeled as the claim to fame for the place.
I don't know what that is, but
there's a drawing.
Anywhere that chooses a duck to promote massage certainly is an interesting establishment.
There is a drawing that somebody has done of somebody giving fellatio to somebody else.
All right. Well, that's a thing. And I kind of blush a little bit and turn so that I'm no longer looking at the bird/porn sign with its artsy depictions of mouth stuff. And then I go to the phone and I put it in one of my quarters and I pull out the business card to the place. And there was a name on it, right? To the bad guys. I call and I ask for the name.
The bare minimum construction?
Yeah.
Okay. So you call up, the operator easily finds you the phone number, gives it to you, asks you if you'd like to be connected.
Yes.
Okay. It rings a couple times and you hear a young lady answer the phone. Yes, how can I help you?
Hi there. I'm looking
Hi.
for... What was the name on the card?
It just said bare minimum construction.
Hello, I'm looking for the owner of Bare Minimum Construction.
He's not here right now. Can I take a message?
Is your supervisor there?
He's not here right now. Can I take a message?
Yeah, can you let him know that Abram Proctor's looking for him, and it's about an important business matter?
Okay,
And,
thank you. And she hangs up.
And I'm just gonna be there late. Okay. Well, they're gonna be really confused when I show up there later. And so I take out the other card that I was given of the person that's not the bad guy. And I call them
Okay.
with my other quarter.
The operator, after a few moments, comes back on. I'm sorry, sir. I can't seem to find a DB Thatcher, a phone number that I can reach him at. Is there anybody else that I can help you find?
Oh, ma'am, this is the only number that's on this card, and that's the only name on the card. So I appreciate your time, and thank you for trying to connect me. But looks like I'm batting 1,000 here. So I hope you have a great night, ma'am.
You too. Be safe.
You too. I hang up the phone.
Okay.
And I am now out of ideas because I have used my 2 business cards that were supposed to connect me to the villain and the helper, and neither one has worked out for me.
Yeah.
So I guess what time is it?
At this point, it's maybe about 5.
Dinner time. I go back to the soup kitchen and help them finish up, and then I guess we're gonna go back to the hovel for dinner.
As you're about to leave the phone, you hear it ring.
I pick up the phone because why not?
You hear, hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Is this Sasha? Sasha? Is this you?
Yeah, Sasha. This is well, I guess it's me.
This doesn't sound
Sasha,
like
how can I
Sasha.
help you? I don't know who you are, man, but
No, I'm looking for Sasha. My name is Vasily.
it is not how Vasily talks, and you know it, you son of a bitch. Everything about you is wrong. Anyways, no, sir, I don't know a Sasha. I'm
When is
sorry.
your reaction?
He hangs up the phone.
Okay.
You motherfucker.
I wanted to do the worst Vasily possible.
No, it's cool. I like to see that my creation has now moved on to the part where he's being imitated, because that's the sincerest form of flattery. You dick.
But you go back to the soup kitchen and you see a couple of the people are each holding a different colored advertisement for the same place that you saw the one person being filleted by the other person. But you see the same kind of mallard, same kind of feathered, grandiose creature.
You know, I don't like that Heavenly Father insists I see a bunch of people going down on each other as a way of moving me towards the right answer.
I mean, these advertisements don't have the connotation that oral sex is implied.
Thank God. All right. Because
these are clean liars.
I mean, I never came back from my Rumspringa, but there's still some things that make me blush. Yeah. So I guess
that massage parlor definitely make you blush.
Yeah. Where'd y'all find these?
And you see one of the guys looks up at you, is like, they're handing them out, dime a dozen. They're paying a bunch of us to kind of hand these out. So some of them, you know, we got to keep some of these.
Well, that's a thing that's happening. Gotta earn a penny, gotta earn a dime.
Out of his pocket, and he's like, you want one?
Well, no, but I just feel like this is the 5th time I've seen one. And so that's got to be a message about something, because I was given these 2 cards and neither one led me anywhere. So the nice woman that gave me the cards, who said there would be the answers, it didn't lead to answers. But a phone book and all of you have led me to believe that a duck proudly displaying itself over two consenting adults doing mouth stuff is probably the right way to go.
You see him look down at his flyer. He's like, mouth stuff?
It was the phone booth.
Is that what tantric means?
I don't know what it means. This is really confusing. I guess I'll call the number. Does anybody have a quarter?
You still have $1.50 in quarters.
I didn't take the $1.50. I took 2 quarters.
Oh, I thought you took $2.
No, I took 2 quarters because the rest was for Jesus.
Okay. Yeah, can't be taking Jesus' money. That's what the other priests are for.
50 cents buys a lot of Campbell's soup packets in those days. I'm not going to take that from the soup kitchen.
Yeah. But you see one of the guys reach into his pocket. You hear him pull out some change, and he just kind of jingles it in his hand for a bit. He's like, yeah, here's a quarter.
Thanks, friend. I'll get you back.
Yeah, okay.
I take the quarter and I go to a payphone.
Okay. down the street, you put the quarter in.
Go back to the same phone booth and carefully turn my body so I'm not looking at the blush-inducing sign with the duck on it.
Yep. Yeah.
What an interesting night I've had so far.
Yeah. So you call number, and right as the wine and paint is about to get undergoing, the phone rings at Lydia's establishment.
She has a receptionist that picks up.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Because she's doing aftercare with her client of the afternoon.
Yeah, I bet you're doing aftercare.
Just remember, pat them on the head and tell them it's okay that they felt what they felt.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let them discover their own safe word.
That's right. Pineapple.
Red light, green light, yellow light. That's all you got to remember.
Daiquiris, bro.
Oh, daiquiris.
Is it a male or female receptionist?
Did we get the fuck way off track during this or what?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my fault. I would say it's a male receptionist.
Okay. You hear a gentleman pick up the phone. How can I help you?
I don't know. So I've received this number and I was told to call it. And
sure. What service are you looking for?
I'm looking for the proprietor, I think.
Oh, well, she's a little busy right now. She's in aftercare with another client. We have a group.
You do therapy? Like sport therapy?
I mean, it could be therapeutic, yes.
Oh, all right. Well, may have pulled a muscle earlier getting up that scaffold, but
sure. I mean, we have a group activity about to take place. If you'd like to join us, I'm sure that
group activity.
Yeah,
I didn't know that people massaged each other.
Well, we do more than just massages here.
Oh, well, that's good. So, yeah, when's your session? Do you know anything about construction, real estate, or attempting to buy property? I'm just trying to cover my bases here.
No, I'm not in school for any of that.
Well, I guess I'll swing on by at some point.
All right. Well, our session is drop in, so it's not
I don't need to make an appointment?
Nope.
Oh, that's good. I don't have an address. So,
all right.
Well, thank you.
Pen, I can tell you how to get here.
Oh, I'll find it.
Okay.
I seem to see advertisements for it everywhere, so I just have to follow the paper.
It's all right. On the weekdays, we're only open until 10, so just be aware of that.
What time is it now?
It's 5:30, maybe 6.
I should have plenty of time to get there. I start walking.
Okay. Just let the phone fall. Don't even.
Oh no! I hang up the phone and thank them very much for their time, and I hope they have a great evening. But yeah, I just start walking there.
This is how you get drawings of fellatio. You just leave the phone unhooked.
No, I don't like any of this in game. Out of game, send me the fucking flyer. But in game, I'm very, very scandalized.
Oh no!
Oh no! I'm going to.
Jesus is pretty sure
I'm
this
going to
didn't
make
happen,
Abram
right?
blush.
Yep.
I guess this is a new way of like explaining immaculate conception, but
It kind of
as you
feels
are-
like it.
yeah, as you are.
bitch be breaking one of the commandments. All right,
Yeah.
let's all right, guys, we need a deep breath
This is
and we're
not-
role playing
This is not how you do magic.
and we're mages. Jesus Christ.
As you're walking up to the establishment, you see the yellow coloring of a cab pull up, and Tom comes out of the cab.
Oh, hey there, Tom.
Hey, it's been a while. How you doing?
It's been about 4 days, man.
Yeah. How'd you like to swim?
It was good. It was very refreshing. I like to go for swims.
My swim was not nearly as exciting as that. It took me a long time to get there. I
No,
think
you
I
just gotta
arrived
keep-
last night.
Well, have you gone swimming a lot? Have you practiced?
My goal is to not be in the water. I'd rather be in the boat.
Oh, well, a good swim's good for you. Exercise doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, but neither does motor cars and things like that.
All right, well, fair enough.
Unless you're getting hit by them, of course. You know, that's more painful.
That would be bad. I can't say that I've ever wanted to get hit by a motor car, Tom.
So what brought you here?
Oh, a flyer with a bird on it and people doing grown-up stuff. I saw a bunch of them. I meant to call this phone number here, and he holds up the card with the bear holding the girder. Apparently, these fellas are buying places that people don't want to sell around the city. And he holds up another card, and this person doesn't exist. So I came here. I followed the flyers.
Do I recognize the name of the person who doesn't exist?
It is the name that the professor asked you about earlier.
No, I met this person that you say doesn't exist.
Oh, well,
They've
could you
got
have him call me?
they've got such a weak handshake. It's crazy. I'm not sure I trust them, honestly.
All right, well, I trust you. You're a good judge of character.
Yeah, they're definitely like, well, nobody's like you, but they're definitely unique.
I'm not anything special, Tom. I'm just a carpenter.
Well, not everybody can carve wood, I guess. So, anyways, he's kind of, maybe a little more like me. I don't know, except with a weaker handshake, obviously. And yeah, he's telling me about houses being bought up by this place, like the Bear Place, literally that company.
Yeah, they're trying to buy the church that my right now there's a soup kitchen that's being set up for the parade. They're building some stuff for the floats and the scaffolding for it, and I guess they're trying to buy up the church and they don't want to sell, so I figured I'd have a talk with them.
Any particular reason you think they're trying to buy up the church? Because this guy that I spoke to
I'm
said he was
guessing it
trying to
has
buy
to
his
do-
apartment.
I'm guessing it has something to do with the picnic park that doesn't exist.
Picnic park that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't. I went through a door and then I was in a place with a fire pit and some benches. Then a door that didn't exist was there and it led me back here. It was all very strange.
So through a door that's not a door into a room that's not a room. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
So
And they want to buy the place where the door that's not a door is.
we can definitely say this is definitely the kind of experience we're used to having together.
I've never had this happen to me before.
Well, we did have that pipe experience.
I guess that's the thing. Well, do you know do you know who this is? And I hold up a flyer.
I point at the door and I say, I was just about to knock, so let's go. I knock
Oh.
on the door.
I let
gentlemen,
him knock despite the fact that it's business hours and chances are they have a waiting room.
yeah. there's a little foyer that you can come in and sit down, but you see that the main room is taken up with like.
I don't want him to feel
$8
bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
there's-
so apparently the door was open. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I opened the door.
You see a young gentleman who's maybe about in his early 20s, just kind of like stand up from behind the desk and just kind of look at you, like he motions for you to push the door open.
I keep pulling and the door isn't open.
I reach
Finally-
over and with like a really beatific smile, just push the door.
It opens.
Thank you. Apparently, knocking in the door didn't open.
There's a little
missed-
bell that goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's an
so-
indoor. Tom, it's an indoor. Don't worry about it. You probably had a really rough last few days.
Well, that was a very long swim. It took.
It was a
me
very long
while.
swim. You're not used to that kind of exercise. Please go right ahead.
So I go in. I'm like, hey, I've heard interesting things about this place. I want to know more.
I think to myself, the guy who knows quantum physics and can chemically enhance bombs out of pebbles doesn't know what a push door is. And then I let him go.
I missed that course.
But yeah, you see that there are 8 easels set up in a circle in the main room. 5 of them are currently being used. There's it looks like they've gone through 4 bottles of wine. But there is every so often there will be just a very soft gong hit, and you notice that they switch their easels. They revolve around in a counterclockwise manner.
Oh, we lost Tom again.
I'm Abram. I don't like sex.
I have a kid, goddammit. I know what sex is.
Okay.
All right. So, jerk. All right. Resume your describing.
Yes,
of
please.
the
I'm loving this
sex.
description. I'm like,
Yeah,
I want to
keep
be
going.
here for real.
I want to hang out at the Sex Palisada game. Let's go.
This is the sex dungeon.
Mind's Eye
It's not a
Will,
dungeon.
Mind's Eye-
It is a blissful experience.
Mind's Eye Theater. Take me there, Will. Take me
Yeah,
to the sex
yeah.
dungeon.
Yeah, there's the scent of incense being burned. Every gong hit also means that the gentleman at the desk comes over and refills the wine glasses. It is idyllic. There's very soft, what sounds like Mediterranean music being played. But you can see that sitting in the center of this circle is a small plinth podium that's about 3 feet tall, and there's a little bowl of 2 mangoes, a banana suggestively placed, and then 2 lemons and 4 limes. It looks like some of these paintings started off with some real intent. You can see that there's a couple of them that look like these people could have been great painters if they weren't switching easels and they weren't drinking wine.
Huh. You know, I mean, these paintings are a fine use of positive and negative space. He read an art book once,
Yeah.
so he tries to sound, yeah.
Yeah, one of the paintings looked like it might have been a great attempt at chiaroscuro.
I don't know what that means.
It's okay. You read a book once.
Yeah, so I wait for Tom to take the lead because he is the knowledgeable one and apparently knows more about what's going on than I do.
So I look around at all the paintings and I think to myself, this is definitely not Bob Ross. So I have to think back to that one art class I took where my mentor was teaching it and see if I remember anything from it other than what flavor of pot was best.
All right.
Do I remember anything from that art class?
Let's have you make an intelligence and academics roll.
Excellent. Let me see if I can do something with that.
Yeah, right.
Let's see here. Oh, that should be good at that. Okay.
That's a good dice pool for you. We'll say
Yes, it
difficulty
is.
6.
I should be able to at least get 1 dice on that.
Right?
starring hit theme songs from a band out of the Boston area. 6, you said?
6.
Yep, and the hits keep on coming. I have 2
Okay.
out of 7 dice.
Yeah, you see that Abram just tells you something about the negative space. You kind of start looking at the paintings that are there, and you do realize that one of them looks like there was a valiant attempt made at using like a chiaroscuro technique with shading and shadows, and then somebody else came in and completely added too much color to the black and white work that was being made. But yeah, this is not art that you would hang in a gallery.
I artfully and tastefully, with as much tact as I can give, because there's a better time to embarrass everyone else that's in front of them.
Yeah.
And I describe everything in as complicated way as possible, while pretending to know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I let him go because he's really passionate about this apparently, and I don't want to rain on his parade.
Yeah.
Although I am kind of subtly trying to position myself closer to the receptionist so I can ask something constructive.
Okay.
I'm still going. 5 minutes later.
My sanctity merit is in full effect. Hello. I'm here looking for the owner of the place. My friend Tom is too, but he's just taken in with your scenery here.
Oh, sure. She should be done any minute now with the prior appointment that she had.
All right.
She doesn't have anyone on the books. Is this a business endeavor or is this?
I think so.
Okay.
And is it all right if I grab a seat over there?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. And he goes and sits down.
And Lydia actually walks out at that moment.
Okay.
With Manny.
Yeah. And he is just shoulders rolling. He's looks like he's 2 inches taller.
Mm-hmm.
And he is definitely, if for lack of a better phrase, like he is fallen head over heels for Lydia.
And she's speaking in fluent Spanish with him. Now I've delivered what I promised. You deliver what you promise, and then we may have future arrangements.
And he nods. I'm gonna do that right now.
And she just gives him a brief kiss on the cheek and says, "Be well."
All right. And as he walks out, he gives Abram finger guns. He gives Tom finger guns.
all the guys he's giving finger guns.
All
yeah,
finger guns.
Unfortunately, homeless Fabio doesn't speak Spanish, so
yeah.
And what you see is a woman who's probably about 5'6", 5'7". She's very lithe, lean, a dancer's physique. Pretty, not like stunningly gorgeous, but she's pretty. She's got black hair that's actually been permed and frosted on the ends so that it's got some kind of caramel color. And she's dressed in a very relaxed floral print wrap dress that's very flowy and just skims over her figure. And she walks with a kind of almost cat-like grace. And she walks over to the receptionist.
He goes, "If you have time, these gentlemen just walked in and would like some of it."
Well, the well-built, good-looking, dirty, somewhat smelly man who gives off a palpable magnetic aura stands and smiles and patiently waits to be acknowledged.
Tom is, of course, still continuing on because he hasn't realized yet that nobody's listening to him.
Yeah. Like, Abram is still close enough that you could be talking to him. He might be listening to you.
He might be, and sometimes Abram just pops off to another scene for a minute.
Yeah, Tom's getting into like Bob Ross stuff where he's like, "Oh, here's some happy little sodomy right over here."
Right over there. Let's paint some happy fellatio.
Absolutely. And As Lydia turns to look at these two guys, she sees the beaming magnetic smile on the tall, broad one, and sees this other guy, obviously a critic, and just laughs. I mean, she has a joyous, almost musical laugh when she laughs as she walks over. I hear you gentlemen are looking for me.
Yeah. If may I have a moment of your time, ma'am? I just want to discuss something with you that's, well, a little odd.
Mr. Critic,
Oh, yes.
that's not the point of
Yes.
this experience. The point of this experience is immersion and expression.
Well, I'd say at least in half of that, you seem to have succeeded because I for one was rather immersed.
Excellent. Well, let's go to my office and we can talk.
Thank you, ma'am.
I follow her, of course, realizing that I have no idea where her office is.
And I will lead them there. And it's
I let
basically
Tom
behind
go
the reception
first.
area.
In case he gets lost, I can guide him towards where the person in front of him is.
As she's basically walking with them, she's going to use Prime Sight.
Tom for sure has that mage aura. It
That's
just
2
pops.
successes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom has that aura. It just pops. Abram has glimpses of it,
Interesting.
but his, for the most part, is more muted than anything else. But there is a massive glow, like this thing radiates magic, pure magic, and it's coming from his tool belt. There's something on his tool belt that just has this powerful aura.
She opens the door to her office, and inside it is it's not expensively appointed, but it's comfortable. There's a functional desk, a comfortable chair that she obviously sits in, and there are comfortable chairs for anyone who's meeting with her to sit in. There's also Tibetan art and Thai art on the walls. She opens the door and says, "Please, come in and have a seat."
Without even knowing he's doing it, he moves quickly and pulls her chair out for her.
Oh, aren't you polite? And after they enter, she'll close the door, and then she drops her masking of her aura and sits down in the seat.
Abram is oblivious and takes a seat, with a smile on his face.
Tom stops and looks at the Thai painting for a moment, reflecting on it and thinking, "Yeah, this must be Thai." I asked her. I said, "I assume this is Thai, right?"
Yes. I spent 2 years there.
Really?
Yes.
How did you find the fish sauce?
Loved it.
Excellent. Excellent. I always enjoyed this Thai place down over by campus. It was really good.
It's not
Excellent
bad.
pad thai.
It's not bad, but it doesn't beat the original.
Does it ever?
No, it never does. So, what can I do for you, gentlemen? Who are you? And what brings you here?
Well, ma'am, my name is Abram Proctor. I'm just kind of helping out some of the local charities in the city. There's a church down by the bridge that I've done some work for. They're currently setting up for the big parade, and they're looking for help. The matron has said that there's people that are trying to buy the church. I was given a couple business cards to call, one of which was supposed to be the people that were doing it. And I got a woman that just didn't want to listen to me and hung up before I could tell them I'm planning on stopping by. And another one that was supposed to be someone I should talk to. They don't exist, but he says they exist, and Tom's pretty smart. And then I was looking at the phone booth, and there was a picture for your place that was very eye-catching. And then I went back, and some of the other people that were at the shelter, they had flyers for it as well. And I tend to feel that if enough things get thrown in your face, eventually you have to see what's throwing them.
Like
And
like
I
Kismet.
figure- I don't know what that means, ma'am, but if that means
Fate.
something that's fortuitous, then yeah, fate. Um, so I came here and
Excellent.
I
Well, Mr.
figured I'd talk
Proctor,
to
it
you.
is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. If you wouldn't mind putting those business cards on my desk so I can take a look at them, and you are, sir.
Oh, very well. And he takes the cards and places them down and then politely steps back a bit.
Please have a seat. Make yourself comfortable.
Oh,
He takes a seat and makes sure that Tom is also taking a seat because otherwise he's going to do that thing where he talks a lot. And when you talk, you're not listening. And when you're not listening, you're not getting the full story.
Tom, of course, attempting to not be entirely oblivious to the rest of the world, does sit down, taking the subtle hint.
And you are?
My name is Tom Castrogano. Um, yeah, I've been chasing this bear construction company thing around. A fellow with similar skill set, if you will, that we all have in common, came to me earlier from a mutual colleague of mine from University of Miami, and mentioned that this construction company was trying to buy his apartment, and we're buying other apartments like his, other locations, if you will, along the city.
I think you might
And
be a little confused. I believe that is Professor Vilden, whose apartment is trying to be bought.
that may be true, actually.
Well, I am Lydia Thompson, proprietress of this establishment. I am also, like you, Abram, involved within the community. I do charity work, both at the activity center with seniors and at the Boys and Girls Club.
Just some good causes, ma'am.
Professionally, I was a dancer, and also I spent 2 years teaching English to Northern Thai girls with Peace Corps.
That sounds like quite a resume. I live down under the overpass near the water. I help the people there build shacks. I like to cook. I like to help people. I don't have the same kind of fancy education that it seems like you and Tom have, but I try to help. And this is something where someone came to me and said there was a problem, and so I'm just trying to follow the breadcrumbs, ma'am. This isn't anything like the other stuff we were dealing with, so I figured if you know something or you might be able to help, flyers led me here.
Oh,
And Tom was just showing up, so this probably is kismet. And he smiles all proud of himself that he,
very
he
good, very
remembered
good.
that word.
It's a beautiful word. And she takes a look at the business cards, and she notices the construction company. Yeah, the owner of this company just walked out my door. I just spent 2 hours giving him a massage that blew his mind, and he's now no longer going to allow my building to be bought.
Ma'am, I'm not good at massages, so I don't know if I can do the same thing.
Professor Vilden has decided to sell his apartment because the money is too good. I have welcomed Professor Vilden to my sanctum.
That was Bashir Toussaint.
Oh, Bashir Toussaint. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bashir Toussaint.
Yeah. Vilden is a euthanatos
Yes.
that helped out in the second season, but
I
Doesn't get
apologize.
along.
I'm confused. My apologies.
that's okay. That's okay.
Too many names. But
Yeah.
but yes, I have offered my sanctum to him if he needs it. He is one of the few in this city that, well, I don't think will intentionally try to get me killed. So but there's someone involved with this bare minimum construction that is pulling the strings. Truly a bear of a guy. And she goes through the whole description with the ginger hair, the white streak in the eyebrow up the head and everything. Goes through the whole description almost like a photographic memory of a recall of someone. Did she pick up a name in his memories?
Yep. It is Dmitry Korchagin.
Dmitry Korchagin.
Ah,
Bill, have I heard of Dmitry Korchagin?
Not you, but Vasily has.
All right.
have I heard of him from my dealings with a certain club?
Yeah. Yeah, you make... Let's see how much you've heard of him. Let's have you make a wits and awareness roll.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Difficulty 6?
We'll say difficulty 7.
7, okay. Big money, big money.
Yeah.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. You know that Sasha has been trying to figure out how to get ahead of Dmitry Korchagin because he doesn't know where he comes from. I mean, he comes from Russia, but he doesn't know where he comes from. He doesn't know how he got his money to start his business. All he knows is that he has appeared on the scene and has started to make waves. Like all the other Russians are starting to fall in line with him, and it's looking like this guy's going to be the next big player to make a move on bringing everybody together under one banner.
I mutter under my breath, of course, with as soon as the recollection appears, and I say, "Oh, this guy's bad news." So, yet another Russian mobster's coming to town, or power player of sorts, and he's trying to get everyone under his umbrella. It's a classic mob move. This guy's after power. I don't know
Well,
what
maybe
that
we should
power
talk
is.
to him. Ask him to stop.
I'm not sure if a head-on attack is going to work, or head-on approach is going to work here.
I didn't say attack. I just said maybe we should talk to him. Let him know that these places aren't for sale and that, hopefully he'll be amenable to it.
These kind of guys don't take no for an answer.
Abram, I have to
Yeah?
agree with Tom with this one.
I mean, if you've met Vasily, you'd know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, I don't know who that is.
I do.
He
know
sounds like a
Vasily?
really
I
nice
do.
guy.
He's a
Oh,
don't make me go there.
he's a scumbag, but at least he's an honest scumbag, so he's not going to sell me a bunch of bullshit, and I appreciate him for that. But anyway.
He might sell you a scumbag, a bullshit sandwich, though.
Oh, I don't eat the sandwiches there. Never eat the sandwiches there.
This sounds like a thing I don't want to know any more about.
But,
So
and then he's always giving out these coupons too.
Okay, let's not derail. And
Okay.
Lydia will pick up the other card. And then she throws it down like it bit her.
Daniel's card. And the second you touch it, you can sense
The
the
magic.
magic in it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to look at it with Prime. See what
the
I see on
matron
it.
had these, and she recommended I reach out to these people.
That is 3 successes on Prime to view that
Ooh.
card.
You see that there is a very intricate weave put into the card. And the second that you switch your vision over, you see each little strand kind of start to build itself up, almost like he's building a little smaller version of the Biltmore out of the card stock.
That is fascinating. Still don't like the guy, but it's fascinating. Yes.
I mean, the picture's kind of nice. I don't know why.
Oh no,
the card.
that card is covered in magic. Covered.
Oh. All right.
Yes, and it basically looks like the Biltmore, the way the weave is. It's very fascinating.
Fair. I don't know much about this magic stuff y'all keep talking about, but I just know that the simplest way to deal with things is just to talk to people. So I would say we should talk to someone. And Lydia, you seem to be a fairly trustworthy and honest person. So if you'd like to help us talk to people, then that'd be all right by me. If you're okay with it. Tom, I don't know if you're on board with this or not, but I feel like Kismet brought us all together.
Well, from what I can tell, we lost our buddy who was an investigator. You know, only thing I got
That was
left to show
terrible.
from only thing I got left to show of him is his crocodile shoes, which I
That
still
was
haven't
awful.
managed to sell yet, I might add. And
That's what happened. I mean, one minute he was there, the next minute he was gone. He was just
yeah, remind me to
he
tell you
got
the story about that later.
he got distracted. He was looking off somewhere, and then he just went away.
Yeah, he was eaten by a crocodile fella.
Please
But
spare me the
anyways,
details.
It
so
was terrible. So I think that the right thing to do would be to look into this further. And I think that if people don't want to sell, they shouldn't be forced to sell.
Why
And
were you given this card? What'd you call her? The
the matron,
matron.
she
Does Lydia
said
know
that
who that is?
She does, because it's one of the mages that you've told to stay away from you.
What does Lydia know about the matron?
Matron Evelyn de Lavigne is old world from England, originally from France. She's a chorister. She's a celestial chorus member. And she is on a different track than Daniel. She's trying to save the city's soul, whereas Daniel just wants to really save the city.
And Lydia's just trying to save the city's people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the
Um,
three prongs.
mm-hmm. What did she say to you?
Well, she said that the people that were involved with this bear thing were trying to buy the
No. About
church.
Thatcher.
About who?
She holds up the card for Thatcher with the building on it.
I don't know anything about that. She just told me I should reach out to whoever's on that card. And then I called the card and they said that person doesn't exist. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's a quarter spent that didn't really lead to anything.
Lydia opens up a drawer, opens up her purse, takes out a quarter, passes it back to him. There's your quarter back.
Oh, ma'am, I don't need it.
Take it, please.
He shrugs and thinks to himself that'll buy 2 packets of ramen for the people down under the bridge.
Lydia picks up the phone and dials the number.
Okay. An operator pops up. How can I connect your call?
Thatcher. It's Miss Thompson.
And you hear a shift in the weight in the chair, and the voice comes over. Miss Thatcher, I'll put you right through. And after a moment, you hear 2 rings, and then the phone picks up. How can I be of service?
You have people distributing your cards to other people.
I have to find agents somehow, Miss Thatcher.
I'm not Miss Thatcher.
Sorry, Miss Thompson.
We need to talk.
All right.
I know
Will
what
this
you
be-
did.
And you hear the phone shift from one ear to the other. Could you be a little bit more specific?
A circle on the floor.
Ah.
A mosaic coming together.
Okay, I understand. Where would you like to meet and when?
Someplace safe. As soon as possible.
We could meet at the church.
I'm getting recommended at the church.
The matron's church.
Mm-hmm.
That
They
is-
have a picnic garden that doesn't exist.
She actually holds the phone away. This is the gentleman that got your card. They are currently at my place. 2 of them.
I apologize for getting you involved, Ms. Thompson.
Always seems to happen. 1 hour?
I can make that happen. Sure.
See you then. She
He
hangs up.
Hey, Will,
Yeah.
as this is all going on, I stop for a second and his hand kind of goes to the nail. What does the nail think of all this?
The nail is silent. There are currently too many avenues in play right now.
Okay, fair.
Abram, I am of a mind to think that while it may be appropriate we talk to certain people, I believe we need to talk to this one, and she picks up the card for Thatcher, first, because he knows things.
All right.
He came to me a few days ago, trying to recruit me.
Well, that seems kind of odd that he'd be trying to recruit you and then suddenly we're showing up at your door.
I have had
Doing
no
your-
less than 10 mages walk through my door in 3 days. I have avoided mages for 2.5 years.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Tom seems to know a fair bit about magic, I guess, but I'm not one of them, ma'am. I was just asked to call these numbers. I'm trying to help.
Based on what
don't
I
like-
see in you, you're something.
Thanks, ma'am. It's nice to be acknowledged as something.
So we go to the church and we talk to Thatcher, and that is our first step. We get our information. We do not go in blind. I've done that before, and I lost 3 people.
Well,
Yep.
so Abram doesn't even know he's doing it. He begins to kind of gather himself up, and the nail begins to slightly gather that reddish liquid on the point of it. And he looks at Lydia. What does he see? Using prime sight without this is a not unconscious thing.
Yeah.
He's trying to look at her avatar specifically, not her aura, not
Okay.
anything. He wants to know what the nail would see.
There is the myriad of colors. It's this very thin, but it's there. Just this miasma of colors popping.
What does it look like? What is the shape of the avatar?
It looks like a swan, like a duck, like a mallard, like a feathered.
Oh, it's
creature.
much larger than a duck.
Yeah.
It is the
Yeah.
largest waterfowl that
But-
is.
It is the size of that chair. Like it is just this, and it looks like it's always in water. Like it's always just kind of like floating on a surface of some kind of liquid. You can see the ripples coming out from under the desk of the non-existent water. You just see the very crane-like head just kind of come over and make eye contact with you.
I know this is going to make me sound like I'm being sarcastic, but this is a legitimate question. Does it seem to be a malevolent swan?
No,
Okay.
no.
So he nods once as you might even see he's kind of staring past her for a second, and then a smile kind of breaks over his face. And all right.
Can
ma'am.
Lydia see her own avatar?
If you want
Yeah,
to
we
try
can.
to will the swan into existence for you, yes.
I will.
Okay.
Right where it's standing, looking at Abram.
Okay. Yeah.
And
For you, it looks like it's just a little bit off to the side, so it's not in your same space. It's just off to your chair,
Mhm.
but it has definitely got its head resting on the armrest.
and she just strokes the swan for a moment and then wills it away.
To Tom, it looks like Lydia just kind of starts to stroke a non-existing thing next to her chair. Because Abram's the only one that right now that has the prime side up. So he's the only one that sees that she actually like reaches down and nods.
And it was only for a moment.
Mhm.
And then he just nods once and smiles. All right, Miss Thompson. Let's
Understand, my motivation is not power, like
I know.
gains. My motivation is not money. My motivation is the people of this city.
Ma'am, I don't know much. I'm not exactly book learned. I haven't been to Thailand. I don't know molecular combobble like Tom over there, but I know a good person when I see one. And
Thank you for
you're a
that.
good person.
Thank you.
So if you're saying that this is the best course of action, I'm willing to trust you.
Well, did you drive here or did you take a cab or walk?
Oh, I walk everywhere, ma'am.
Not tonight. We ride in style. And she grabs her purse. Come with me.
Right.
As she says ride in style, he stands up and doesn't realize he's doing it. But he's kind of smoothing the tattered, dirt-covered flannel that he wears.
She's not even
everywhere.
phased.
Yeah, he's about 2 days late for a shower after all of his building things. He's not ripe, but you can tell he's a working man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see as you come around your desk and the two gentlemen stand up and you grab the sliding doors and you open them. On the other side in the main hall, you see this grotesque monstrosity. It has the upper half of your receptionist in its big crocodilian maw, and two of the patrons have had their skulls crushed in by these thick crocodilian hands. And it's just kind of, it looks up at the three of you, and there's a devious grin that comes over this snout. And this is where we'll stop for tonight.
Damn it, I was going to do a
Can I ask
mind
quick
blast.
question beforehand? Before we break, can I ask a real quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Does it look like the same crocodile thing I punched the living shit out of?
The same thing.
And does it still look wounded from my particular brand of punching?
It sure don't.
Okay.
But yeah, this is where we're going to stop for tonight. I would like to summon from the ether the disembodied voice of Shanky McStabber.
Aha, this time it's actually set up so that I can do it without it being a problem.
Hey.
So ha 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 ha. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. I'd like to thank our storyteller, Ravnos Archon, and of course the players, because this is a great show. Love watching this. Please join us on our Discord. In case you didn't know, we actually cast all of our shows from the Discord, and you can, if you join us on the Discord, maybe you'll get a chance to play with us. Maybe you'll even get a chance to play off stream when we do our monthly community games, which is here lately's Blood on the Clock Tower. And we do weekly Zoom hangouts with everybody, so you could, come hang with us in Zoom. Of course, if you want to catch our back episodes, pop over to McStabber Studios YouTubes. We got our back episodes there. You can catch the previous season of this show and the previous season before that of this show and all our other World of Darkness content, because we've got a lot of that. Man, my wife's spamming chat so fast that it's going to take me forever to keep up. If you want to check out some amazing content creators, one of them is the Storyteller Tonight. You can check out our friends list. Go pop over to his Twitch chat, Ravnos Archon. You can get you some, he does Vampire on, isn't it Monday nights, Vampire? Yep, he alternates between the Camarilla and an Archon game, or Anarch game. Sorry, Anarch game. So yeah, pop over and watch some Ravnos Archon. He does some great content. If you like what we're doing here, of course, give us a follow here on Twitch. Give us a subscribe. If you don't like Twitch being a pimp, because Twitch does take half the money if you subscribe to that way, you can pop over to our KoFi and give money through KoFi to the studio. It's just a way to donate that doesn't have half the money disappear. Of course, if you want to support the players you see in this stream, not Relin, just Ravnos Archon, the storyteller, Abram there, Rev Ben Powers, and Zeddy, bits and donations, they'll go to the players, not the studio. And since Relin and I are the studio, we don't get any of the bits or donations. That doesn't go to us. So just to let you know that. I'm trying to think. I think actually that's all the things I needed to cover. Let me go through. Oh, get your merch. We don't have any Mage merch yet, but you know what? I'm sure we'll get some merch at some point for Mage.
Oh, I'm so gonna do a Gilded Swan Tantrix.
But we do have
I
other
want an official I'm just a carpenter t-shirt.
we do have other good merchandise on there, so you can check that out and find all the other merch, because we've got merch. And I think now I can turn it over to my lovely wife to do her part.
Yep. So coming up on Saturday, we have London Esoteric Society. It's not streaming at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be streaming at 4 p.m. Eastern because daylight savings time is stupid. And there's an offset between the UK and us. So they'll be streaming at 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, resuming London Esoteric Society, which is our Call of Cthulhu 7E stream. Then on Sunday, it is at 5 p.m. Eastern, Vampire the Masquerade, Windy City After Dark, Season 6, Episode 2. And then back here on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be back with our next episode of 1988 Miami Mage Neon Squall. And we are about to face down the crocodile thing. And guess what? They've got an ecstatic with some fucking mind spear. This fucker gonna feel the pain.
And for those that haven't seen
I do not think this thing's gonna like the next few seconds of its life.
No, I don't either. Because it's up in her sanctum and she's like, oh no.
We've got mind bullets, we've got thermonuclear rocks, and we've got the power of a Christ he doesn't believe in. So this is gonna be fun.
And for those who didn't see the first episode of the season of Windy City, they're getting ready to go on a raid and try to rescue a kindred that's been taken prisoner from Prince Decker of Milwaukee. So that's going to be a hell of an episode.
That's going to be a hell of an. We are about to hit some critical mass in our World of Darkness streams for real. I have no idea what Tiss has brewed up for Call of Cthulhu. I'm sure it's going to be sus. I'm sure it's going to be crazy. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. So,
but definitely check out. Be here next Tuesday, because as a matter of fact, for the next few months, Tuesday's World of Darkness night. We're going to do our Mage, and when this season concludes a Mage, we're kicking off Werewolf. Our season 2 of our werewolf stream, and then when the werewolf stream ends, I believe there's 8 episodes on deck for that one. Then come June, we start up Demon the Fallen, so which is going to run also 10 weeks. So you're going to be looking quite a bit of World of Darkness here. It's Vampire Sunday and all the other products on Tuesday. So come check that out.
yeah.
And as always, when we end our stream, everybody, mental joke. It's mental health is not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take your mental health seriously and take mental health of others seriously. Please check in on your friends, family, loved ones, even people you don't like that much. Make sure they're okay, because sometimes it just takes a voice, somebody to say I care, or just to reach out and say, are you okay? To pull them off the edge that they're on, and try to be that lifeline. And if you do suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, myself included, first of all, it is okay to not be okay. 100% it's okay to not be okay. And mental health is health. So reach out to those around you to try to get the help you need. And if you can't reach out around you because either you don't feel you can share that with those close to you, or you're caught in the American healthcare system that makes it too expensive, right now in chat, there's a list of names and numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can talk to somebody there that will be the lifeline for you without judgment and without any kind of stigma to it. So please, and if you aren't from the U.S., because we do have European viewers in chat, there's also a link that you can put in your country of origin and find the helplines in your country.
Covers over 140 countries.
Yep. So that's very important, everybody. We want you to be here for a while, and we can't all do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. We all need help once in a while. So don't be afraid to get that help. And I'm going to let my wife do her part next.
Hello, I see we have some new viewers tonight. I, Relyn Dare, Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, am the nicest mean nurse you will ever meet. I am a registered nurse, been doing it for a long time. And I'm going to tell you, please, take care of yourselves, because if you don't take care of yourselves, you can't take care of anybody else. Facts. And to do so, not only your mental health, but your physical health too. Please go get your COVID vaccine. If you've not done so, please go get it. There is a 1-dose vaccine. There are 2-dose vaccine series you can get. They are very quick. Most people have minimal effects from the vaccine and bounce back within a day. And truly, go get it done. And then if you have gotten it done, go get boosted if you haven't. Please. We are over halfway fully vaccinated here in the U.S., and cases are going down because we are over halfway fully vaccinated in the U.S. Please continue that trend and get vaccinated. Said with love. I know it's mean for folks who don't want to get vaccinated, but truly the facts are there. It is safe. It is effective with helping folks minimize the impacts of the illness and helping to stop the spread. So please go get vaccinated.
Yep. And as we're getting ready to go raid Dork Tales, so you can see Kelly and his amazing cast of players over there, I do want to say,
Props to Kelly.
Fuck Putin. Love the Russian people. I'm not blaming him for it. Love Ukraine. Fuck Putin. He's a bastard, and he doesn't deserve to be in power anymore. But you know what? Please don't take it out on the Russian people. They can't help it. They're just as scared of him as we are. So I'm just letting you know. So as I hit the raid button, I would like to thank you all for coming. And good night, everybody.
Good night.